Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Such a Yo, a.k.a. Coach Bird, and I'm the host of the BYRDCAGE Show. Cousin Tracy.
What's up?
How was your day? How about that?
Fantastic. My day was great.
Yeah, I will say this. Y'all make sure y'all check out episode 111 in the beginning. Because when you said
I don't know what I was saying. Had a blooper.
That is so funny. And I left it in there.
You left the blooper in?
Yeah, I had to leave that one in there. I'm sorry. I had to leave that one in there. But we are back at it. Episode 112. We have a very, and I usually don't throw out three varies. You know what I'm saying? Very, very special guest in the cage, sitting on the couch. You know what I'm saying? We go way back. You know what I'm saying? Known her, it's like 20, 21, 22 years, something like that now, you know what I'm saying? And she does so much. We're happy to have her. Like, she's in town, you know what I'm saying? I had to grab her.
Yes.
I said, listen,
I heard
need
on
you on
the
show
phone just now, and
making big moves.
I thought I was busy.
All right, exactly.
I was like, is she ever going to get off that phone?
Now see how you dang thank you. Now you see how you sound.
And I know how people feel. Listen, so my apologies, everyone. I really see how it goes now.
Well, look, he was like, are you here? I'm like, I'm just sitting out here finishing up this call so I can come in and do this with you guys. My pleasure.
Definitely. But man, player relations.
Yes.
Talent manager. Sport and brand marketing.
That's
NIL. Events, meal plans.
They go together.
No. Fitness guru.
No.
You see her over here. You see her over here. Fitness guru. You know what I'm saying? For those that don't know, you're going to find out. You know what I'm saying? One of my good friends, my sister, I like to call her, IVORY TABB, is in the building today. Why don't you say what's up? Say what's up.
Hi there. Don't make it seem like I'm a Jamaican out here with like 50, 11 jobs that don't. Cousin Tracy, they all align. So, you'll never hear somebody saying IVORY was selling insurance, because if you do, I want you to raise the flag for me and be like, she was what? Doing what? That's not what that lady told me she do. So You see where I'm going with this?
Understood.
Yes.
It all intertwines.
Yes.
Hey, all I know is, and please go follow her, you know what I'm saying, on her social media pages, and you'll see what I'm talking about. She's always doing, since you said you're Jamaican, big things.
Yes.
That's what's up. So, hey, let's get right into it. For those that don't know you, let's talk a little about where you're from, your background, all that good stuff.
I feel like we all started in Camden. I feel like we all started in Camden. And so, grew childhood there. And then, my brother got us kicked out of Forest Hill. And he did. Yes. And so, because of that, no, I'm going to take that back. He didn't get us kicked out of Forest Hill. Y'all remember back in the day that little, the CHIPS program?
Yes.
The Smart Kids? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I was the first class of that. And so Forest Hill had it to 4th grade. And then they moved it to... I can't even remember back then where they moved it to 5th grade. But anyway, we lived in Parkside. It wasn't close. And she was like, you not going to that school to do CHIPS. So we went to a Catholic school. And then we did Catholic school for a year. He got us kicked out of Catholic school. You know that story.
I know that story.
He got us kicked out of Catholic school.
What's Catholic school?
Transfiguration. Good old Transfiguration.
Yeah, my kids went there.
Yes, so he got us kicked out of Transfiguration, and then that's how we got to Pennsauken system. So we've been in Pennsauken since me in 6th grade, and then him in the 4th grade, where he felt like my mom should have put him in the 5th grade, but she did not, and here we are. That's how late. And you'll see, Cousin Tracy, when we get through these questions, you'll understand why we have to bring up Coach Tabb immediately right now. And so then went to...
Well, see, he's Coach Tabb, but I know the other Coach Tabb.
Oh.
So he's Coach Tabb B.
Oh, who's Coach Tabb A? My dad?
Yes.
Oh.
The original.
The original.
Oh, fair.
Yeah,
fair.
So he was a track. He had Run Camden Run.
Yes.
And my daughters ran for Coach Tabb.
Got it.
At Run Camden Run.
Got it.
The original Coach Tabb.
So there we are. That is so. That will move our story along. So as you see, Dad had been coaching track forever, and so I was at Pennsauken High School, and I was fortunate enough to go to LSU and run track. So that's my baby. That's how I got out of the Jersey area, as I call it. And so I just stayed down south. And when I say stay down south, I just started working with a bunch of athletes at school. You know, I knew I was going to do something with athletics, and so that was another reason why I chose LSU, because I wanted to be like, I could walk into a room and start talking sports, and that name would do something for me. So that's part of my teachings now with kids. You may have a lot of opportunities, especially if you are a Division I caliber athlete in something. But the question that I say to parents all the time is, are you going to go there and sit? Are you going to sit for 2 years if we're going to talk basketball or football? You know, so is there another school that you can go that has name recognition that's also going to give you a network, because you may not make it to the pros, because that 1% is a 1%.
True.
So what y'all heard it, 1%.
1%. And so then after you do that and your playing days are over, what's next? Are you going to a school that has a built-in network that allows you to get ready for what's next? And so that's it. And so now I go around the country and I help parents, administrators, and students understand NIL, because I've been in that space for so long, because I've been working with professional athletes for 25 years. And that wheelhouse of things is branding, marketing. And when you do those things, it comes along with doing events, because players want people to show up to do things, and that's where the event piece comes from. And then also on the backside is, getting yourself together. Stories of players losing money immediately, and stories of players not having, as I say, their team, and who on your team is your me. And when I say my me, I'm a mix between Olivia Pope and Jerry Maguire. And you have to have that. Right now, finance. You got to have somebody that knows what to do in finance. Because like I laughed earlier, that's not my wheelhouse. You know, you have to have somebody that then knows contracts. I know a contract. I'm not a lawyer, but I got a team of lawyers in back of me that we could raise a red flag on a contract. So for me with this NIL space, I actually love it a lot more than a lot of folks do, because if I can get you in high school, and right now there are 34 high schools in the United States who allow high school students to do NIL. Actually, Georgia just passed it on Monday, so the phone's been ringing off the hook. Georgia's going to pass it. Since they've passed it, Florida's going to be next. Alabama's going to come right after it, because they want to keep those kids in state. And so if I can get you in high school, I can get you for 2 or 3 years of educating you, teaching you, letting you know the red flag, so you can raise your hand. Because right now, you give a kid that's 18 that came from the hood and give him a millionaire money, he's still 18 from the hood with millionaire money.
And he get millionaire money and got still reserved brains.
Oh, Jesus.
Still reserved
brains. Your mama.
He got millionaire champagne money with still reserved brains.
And guess what? When they be like, I was like, who is helping you with this? And you be like, my mom. Baby, your mom been working at the post office for 20 years. She don't know this.
Right.
My AAU coach, baby, he had you. And you put this together. He don't know this. And then that's one thing that both NIL in high school and NIL in college has, is no one at the school technically is allowed to help you. And so that's where it gets tricky. So if no one can help you, who are you actually asking questions to, and where are you getting these answers from? So for me, that's when I'm out here trying to spread the word on what it looks like, how it is, and what you do.
Now, let me ask you this. When coming out of LSU, like, who was it? Somebody that gave you that first break, or was it? But let's talk about that a little bit. Like, because I don't want people to think like, I just graduated and I hopped out right into it and bang,
No. So I literally stopped running track I thought I was going to be an athletic trainer. And back then you had to do 800 hours of volunteer work before you even sat to take the test. So in my mind, junior year, let's do these 800 hours. Let's take the test. And there was a lady there who was like, Ivory, this might not be for you. And I'm looking at her like, ma'am, you just saw me get this track scholarship back. What are we talking about? This might not be for me. She was like, it's not the opportunities that females have in sports now is totally different than it was, now we're talking 20 years ago. She was like, everyone, the highest you probably will make it is maybe at a college level or in charge at a high school. Girls ain't on the sidelines like they are now, and then being, whether we like it or not, an African-American woman in this space, everyone's going to think you have alternative motives.
Right.
And I get it. Back there, age 20, I'm like, what are you talking about? Now knowing what I'm knowing, I'm like, that's the biggest blessing that someone could have ever told me, even though the delivery wasn't appropriate, but it worked. So I actually started tutoring.
Okay.
And so now it's like you got these afternoons open. So I just started tutoring athletes. I was in the center a bunch. It was time for me to graduate, and they came and they said, do you want to be in charge of freshman football while we pay for your master's? So now I'm the academic advisor for freshman football. Okay. And at this time, we had a team that was getting ready to gear up, because this was 2000. So we had a team that was getting ready to gear up. We won the actual national championship in 03. Mm-hmm. So, they was turning over finally, because the whole time I'm in school, we was just happy to be here. You was at LSU, but you wasn't winning nothing. Baby, we've been to that Outback Bowl, the Weed Whacker Bowl, so many times, and it was like, Jesus. So two of my kids, actually, Michael Clayton and Marcus Spears, they were like, Michael went first, and he was like, I'm going to go first, and Marcus was like, when I graduate, you going to go with me. And I'm like, where? He's like, wherever I get drafted. So in 2002, I actually took a job over at Southern, because he had 2 more years to go before he could graduate, because he was only a freshman, because I had him his freshman year. And so I took a job at Southern. The NCAA said, we need academic advisors for all HBCUs, because they didn't have that. So, kids is back in the day standing in line. Right. Go stand in line for 2 hours and get your classes changed. And I was like, oh, this is what y'all doing over here? But okay. And so I did that for a year. I started their program. And then I actually was the assistant basketball coach. And, folks were like, you don't know nothing about basketball. I don't. I don't. But my pitch to the coach was, you do X's and O's and let me handle everything else. Gotcha. Because guess what? Everything else I got. The academic advisor, I'm here. Right. Scheduling, that's easy for me to figure out. Making sure that we had, the buses, the meals, the food, that's light work for me at this point. And then, I looked at the schedule, like, where can I take these young black girls from Louisiana, Mississippi, those places, the places they never seen. Let's go play in Minnesota. Let's go play in Oregon. Let's go play in California Riverside. Let's do things that y'all may not ever be able to experience, and let's get, let's do it. Yeah, we're gonna lose by 100, but let's make some memories. Let's go.
See some new places.
When y'all say new places, so Minnesota, the Gophers, they play in a barn, and so it's like a huge barn, but the floor is raised. Okay. So you're sitting, when you're watching the game, you're sitting right, yes, because the floor is up here. Right. So you got to like walk up some steps to get up on this. Yes. And they looked at me and they was like, why did you bring us here? I was like, because before we leave, the Mall of America. So over there. So we going. So I say all that to say, long story short, Marcus got drafted, and he just happened to get drafted to the Cowboys. Okay. And so then when we go to Dallas, I already had 3 other guys that were on the team. I had a player on the basketball team. So now I'm managing 5 players. It went from 1 to 5, and then that just started rolling. And they trust, and that's the trust factor. That's why I say to these kids, yes, I know you want to pick your friends, and yes, I know you want to pick people, your AAU coaches and your homeboy want to be with you. But at this day and age, it's too much money. Right. And deals to be left on the table for you to go with somebody who brand new. Right. Somebody that's brand new can be a part of your team, but somebody that's brand new cannot run the team. Right.
But do you find, because I asked this question, do you find that a lot of our kids are running into sharks?
All the time. Let me tell you, babe.
But sharks in the way of, this was somebody they trusted, that was like a family, that is in the business, mind you.
And then my first thing that people say to me all the time, they be like, who's your client? Who has he done work with before? Because guess what? Every basketball agent out there, I know. And if I don't know them, they brand new. And if they brand new, they had to be sponsored by somebody. And I know who their sponsor is. Right. So who is your person? Right. And why are you letting them pick you? And especially now with NIL changes everything. You don't need the money. You don't need to get the take another step back. To be an agent is expensive. These kids want you to pay for their training. Right. These kids want you to pay for housing, cars, and most agents is a loan. And I'm like, you didn't need to take that loan. Right, you could stay in school right now and make 6 figures easy, and you don't even have to be the 1%. Look, 2 years ago, Jermaine O'Neal got him and Tracy McGrady are certified basketball agents. Okay. They have a whole agency, everything. Last year, he was like, okay, Ivory, I got a top 10 pick. And I was like, do you? And he was like, yeah. I was like, out the gate. He was like, yeah, kids trust Tracy and me. I'm like, because we've been through it. And remember, we didn't go to college, so we look at it totally different. Mm-hmm. I said, bet. 3 weeks later, I say, let me follow you around with this boy. Let me make content, because that's what your brand is. Let me help your brand make content of following you around, getting ready for the draft, doing everything. He said, Ivory, he's not leaving. I said, he's not leaving what? He said, school. And I'm like, why? He said, because it's Drew Timmy, and he can make all of that money staying.
Right.
And I said, all that money, he said, let's do the math. If you are a first round pick, you're going to make this amount of money. 15, your money is good.
Right.
15 to 30, if you still good money, but it's a little shaky. When we hit second round, that's $400,000. That's the minimum. Right. I can get you an NIL deal right now for 6 figures. If you at a school that's good, if you got a following, so if I can put 3 or 4 of them 6-figure deals together, you don't need the league if you technically are a 4th or a second round pick. If you number 33, go back to school. And so that's the pieces. So your sharp question all the time, because you got kids saying you gonna be in the first round, baby. It's only 15 spots. I ain't never heard of you, so you not you're not there yet. And that is literally, I'm saying, when folks are like, I want to pick an agent or I want to pick a manager, and I'm like, they telling me I could go, I'm like, ask somebody who you don't know who's in the business if you could go. Right. Because they don't owe you anything.
Right.
So
if tell you the truth.
Exactly. And so for me, with my network of having you and my brother, I call him once or twice a week to be like, because I'm getting ready to gear up now for Olympics. Mm-hmm. So kids that's running track, I got them coming out the woodworks now. Like, I want to go to the Olympics. Right. Take our favorite kid. I'm leaving school if I make it. You're not doing anything, Mr. Tucker.
Right.
But I need an agent. I'm going to be your times aren't fast enough to go to the Olympics next year. Let me tell you the truth. Right. Not next year. But guess what? If they are and you get close, I don't need you to leave school, because I can get you NIL money, and guess what we could do? If you want to leave Rutgers and go to a bigger school, that's easily done. Right. But you don't need to set in your mind, I'm going to go to the Olympic trials in April of next year. If I do make the team, which, remember, let's be real clear, it's only 3 spots. If I do make the team, then I'm dropping out of school. I said, because guess what? When you drop out of school to run track professionally, that's all you doing is going to practice, going to track. Right. Going to practice, going to meets.
Right. That's
it. So when I say with Buddy, I can call him and be like, this kid just got off the phone with me. Their mom said that they ran the fastest time last year. Right. Who is this kid? He does what he does. He comes back to me. He'd be like, nah, don't do it. Mm-hmm. Or tell that family not to do it. Right. And I'm like, why? And he'll tell me, because she's a little girl, so she ain't getting big offers like that. Or, her time was fast and she won. I just had a kid call me last week, said, I won AAU and I won Junior Olympics in 17, 18. And I said, who is getting you, where are you getting scholarships from? Right. She said, Stephen F. Austin. You just won. Wait a minute. Why are you? Oh, TCU. Okay, TCU got some traction. And then she was like, Texas. Okay, now we here.
Now we doing something.
I put the phone down and I called Bud and I said, what? He said, Ivory, she only 5'3". I said, and he said, she run the 8. He said, what 800 runner you know is your size that's actually got something. Right. You got to be, she ain't even coming up to, he said, she ain't even coming up to a thing's hit.
Right.
So that's the thing with your question for sure, is and folks don't know what they don't know. Yeah.
But
come on.
The problem is unfortunate.
Yes.
You have these parents who are looking at their kids, number one, as paychecks.
Yep.
Number two, as all the things that they weren't or couldn't be.
Yep.
So they're living vicariously through their kids.
Yep.
And they're living through rose-colored glasses, right? So it's just crazy to me because you got these parents who, I'm watching some of these kids, these parents are blowing money into their training and the kid can barely walk.
Yes.
Like his walk is,
He
knock needed, right? You know what I'm saying? But they spending all this money because their kid's going to be that one.
Yes.
And they don't have nobody being honest. These little league teams, everybody's like the next whomever.
And I'm gonna tell you, not. Because guess what? I know who the next whoever is.
Right.
You. That's my business, is to know who the next whoever is.
But I think, it's so sad that our people don't just tell the kids, and I'm not saying your kid can't be. That's not what I'm saying.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that.
Just not
but I'm
ready yet or
saying,
whatever, like
let's just be realistic and say, listen, let's just get a free education out of this, right?
Yes.
Let's just get a free education out of this. Let's get opportunity, because if you fall in a good squad or in a school, you may get opportunity and get resources.
Yes.
And it's crazy because I posted on Friday. I posted, just because somebody doesn't appreciate you doesn't mean you're not valuable.
Yep.
Right. So my thing is, you can get an education. You can be on these sports, right, and you can meet other kids who may be a little bit better, and that can be your homeboy, homegirl. You can get a little education. You can get a little training, and then you can do something different.
Let me tell you what you can do, and I say this all the time. So when I'm talking in front of kids, I go around the country, I teach branding, I teach marketing, I do NIL, I talk Division I, and then I also go to HBCUs and small schools too, because they need it more than the big schools. Because the big schools have tons of me that are there all day long, and that's their job.
Right.
The little schools, y'all
They
just
don't have
hoping
that,
to somebody come here and talk to you guys.
Right.
Okay. So while I'm here, I'm saying to you, listen, leverage big moments. That's a tip that I'm like, you got to do it. You may be, let's say you decide you're going to go to Bama to play football. I don't know how you got there, but you just happened to be there. And like we started out, you ain't playing this year, so that's your freshman year. We're going to give you that red shirt.
Right.
Now we on the field, we playing special teams. Guess what? Every time y'all win, every time y'all do something good, every time the moment happens, you leverage that. Like you just said, you on Bama's team, so use that.
Right.
Make sure, graduate in 3 years. They got the resources to get you to graduate in 3 years, 3.5 years. And then you get to come back and they paying for your master's. When you enter in the transfer portal and you go someplace else for your last year and a half and leveraging another big moment. Now the team is looking at you like, oh, you're an asset instead of a liability. Another asset. Have good grades. Do you know what a team want? A kid that's like, oh, this kid is on the football team and he making an academic All-American. That's a thing.
Right.
Then the third piece, be a good kid. It don't cost nothing to be a good kid. And then that's when you use the community relations. Because when I go to the school, like y'all heard me just say when I walked in, when we do my swim meet, that's a celebration swim meet. It's a HBCU swim meet. Whatever team is there for the Celebration Bowl, the MEAC versus SWAC championship, that's how you decide who's the winner. So, that's the game Jackson State lost to North Carolina Central last year. So when I take these Olympians to the school to talk to these kids on Thursday, the game is Saturday, Coach, I need 2 kids from both teams to come with me to speak to these kids as well, to show them that this is what it looks like. You may not be starting, but guess what? I'm going to give you content. I'm going to give you the place. I'm going to put you in front of other people. I'm going to be able, you're going to be able to talk to me all day about NIL deals. The guy the Olympian that's going to be with me, Cullen Jones, he in charge at Speedo. He got money that he just trying to give away.
Right.
Guess what? This is what NIL is. Now we are building up followers. Because NIL, I would rather have the kid who wants to do this kind of stuff than, let's say, the starting quarterback. Because the starting quarterback don't have time to do what I need him to really do.
Facts.
But this kid that's on the team, that I'm like, you building your followers, you great, you like to do it, you know content. Then you done found somebody else on campus like a mini me who can help you with this, because there's tons of kids on campus who like, I want to work in sports. Let me show you the 5 things that you could do right now to work in sports. Yeah, you could be an agent, but the first question I'm going to ask you is, who is your client?
Right.
And you looking at me like, what? You on campus.
Right.
Who's your
Who you got?
Who you got?
Right, who you got?
And then the who you got comes with what value do you bring? And what value do you bring is what can you offer another athlete that you need.
Right.
That's right there. Then number 3, social media manager. Do we know how much money social media managers make? Somebody got to put the post up.
Right.
Somebody got to make sure you posted when you posted, how you supposed to be posted. The account manager. You one of those new kids Nike just out offered.
Mm-hmm.
Nike then says we need to make sure in all his pictures he wearing this, this. We got a photo shoot at this time. That's the account manager.
Gotcha.
And guess what? That's on campus because Nike's in Oregon.
Right.
So I need somebody that's in whether we like it or not, Tuscaloosa, Baton Rouge is Bumble. I need somebody that's in Bumble that's going to be with our kid. So that's that. Then the last person is the publicist. That's another job. Who's talking about this? So you went down to the community center and you signed autographs and you make it. Who did you tell?
Right.
Who figured out that you was there? Where were you getting it? And then the last one, but not least, is the assistant. Those are all 5 different jobs. The assistant is the one. When I call you and you don't answer the phone, you better answer the phone because this is the job that you signed up for. And so at this point, how are you going to school to get a degree to do all of those things? CJ.
Right.
I said, CJ, what are you going to school for?
Right.
Oh, I don't know, Miss Ivory. I said, what? I said, don't you do graphic design? I said, I see. He said, yeah. I said, do you know how much money is in graphic design?
That's true.
To flip to social media.
Play, football for us or starting linebacker.
His designs. I'm like,
crazy. Matter of fact,
it's
funny that you said that, and I was going to tell you about it. I'm thinking about getting him to do some stuff for us.
But you see what I'm saying, Cousin Tracy? That's the thing. So he's like, I'm playing football great this year. Okay, so somebody give you a scholarship somewhere, then what you going to do?
Right.
The first thing you should say to coach is, yeah, coach, I play football too, but guess what? I want to do media managing too, and I want to get both things done because there are kids that are graduating that have been playing sports for years, and what folks don't know, especially when you're trying to get a job in sports, account coordinator, that's the lowest job you could have, an account coordinator. You just graduated. But nowadays, because there's so many people who want to do jobs in sports, they're like, you need 1 or 2 years of experience to do account coordinator. And they're like, well, where was I supposed to get that from? I was an athlete. When it wasn't your season, you were supposed to be doing something. So who is telling our kids this?
No one.
No one.
Yeah, absolutely no one.
Absolutely no one.
Absolutely solitary.
They don't know.
No.
They don't know.
They don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
We not even really, especially with girls.
Yes.
I'm gonna speak with girls.
Total different space.
We're not even pushing them to go to good colleges
at all.
We just not doing nothing for them
at all.
Track, basketball, and I know I'm gonna make some people mad. I know girls that could have went better than what they did, and they nowhere. Nobody's even doing that for them. So nobody's telling these kids nothing. Nobody's telling these kids, and it's so crazy that when you try to tell these kids something, somebody that knows a little, you try to tell these kids something, don't listen to her, she a washed up, whatever. My thing is I try to tell the kids, you don't gotta listen to me, but at least watch the BYRDCAGE, because we be having some people on here that could teach you some things. Right. You know what I mean? You don't gotta listen to me. And I don't want you. I want you to listen to your coach. Your coach said don't have a conversation with me. I'm cool with that because a whole group of girls was told by their coach not to deal with me. And guess what? Where they at?
Sitting probably right back where they've been sitting. Yep. Cousin Tracy, let me tell you something. For me, that's my thing. Is when I go to speak at a school and I'm there for the whole day. I want a session with the boys. I need a session with the girls because that's 2 different brands. That's 2 different markets. That's 2 different everything. I'm going to talk to y'all totally different. The boys all want to see pictures of who I know and want to see me at LeBron James party and want to see me sitting courtside, and I'm going to show you all that. Right. But guess what? I'm there because the value that I bring to athletes. And I've been doing this for so long that there's nothing that you could say to me that I'm be like, oh, Jesus, how can I fix it? Okay, let's move along. Let's do what we're going to do. The girls, that's something totally different. Your shelf life is different. How people want to brand you and market you, especially our girls, is something totally different. You ain't got to sell sex. They're going to want you to, and you're going to be based off what sport you play. It's going to seem like sometimes that's the way. But if you are the key thing right here with this, authenticity. If you know what you like, if you know what you don't like, if you know the wheelhouses, like I mentioned as soon as we came in, I know my wheelhouse, then things and finding brands and partnerships, because that's really what you want is a partnership. That's easy. After lunch, I then spend time with the 1%ers on 1%ers there, because that's why you brought me there. Let's be honest.
Right.
But then I also carve out time for somebody who was listening to my speech and heard something and was like, I have some more questions. Can you help me? And then at the end, I'm like, if I'm at a high school, now we at 3 o'clock, I see practice, whatever practice is going on. Then at 5 o'clock, I still make myself available for you to have these parents come up here and ask these questions. Because the thing with NIL that folks is getting real jammed up with is taxes. So let's take me and my brother. I went to school first. If I would have did an NIL deal and I'm getting Pell Grant, technically Rita Renee, God rest her soul, should have took me off her taxes, because now any money I make with NIL goes to whose tax I'm on, and that's mom's taxes.
Now that done jumped her up to another bracket.
Boom.
Because this is the problem we have.
Yes.
As people of color.
Yes.
The coloreds.
Yes.
I'm going to call them.
Yes.
We want to hold our kids on our taxes until we, till we can.
25, and that's at 25. You can't do it.
You can't.
You can't.
Right. Like, the rule is if your kid make over $10,000, they got to file their own taxes.
And guess what? I want you to even file before that, because now I'm going to school. Buddy coming after me. Guess who not getting no Pell Grant? Buddy.
Right.
Because the money that I made should have went back to the house, unless you smartly, each kid LLC. You got to give, especially kids that's making money in this space, any type of money, an LLC, and then we can move it around another place. But guess what? Your siblings still get money. It doesn't affect the house. Nobody is tax return. But nobody don't want to talk about that.
You got parents don't even want to give up their W-2s for the kids to do the FAFSA.
Or parents that don't even want to apply to get their kid this grant or this loan or whatever, because...
That's another topic for another day.
That's a whole other episode?
No, the topic that I want y'all to actually talk about is I want parents to understand, if someone comes to your kid and says, I'm giving you a full year scholarship, that's not. It is a renewable contract that's renegotiated every year. Every spring. Every spring.
And some still require your kid to do FAFSA.
And guess what?
Because that's how they get federal money onto the campus.
Baby, so let's talk about tail of two coins. At LSU, you get a full scholarship. If you get FAFSA, any type of money, LSU then gives that money to you. Down the road at Southern, at HBCUs and lower tier schools, if you get FAFSA, that's part of your scholarship.
So I try to tell somebody that.
That's part of your scholarship. So
I had that conversation. Did they tell me?
Southern pays 64%.
Right.
That FAFSA is the rest. And that's it.
Gotcha.
So guess what? Those are two different things. So if you just messed up your FAFSA and now you go into the accountant office and they're saying you owe $2,000 and you like, I got a full, and they're like, no, that NIL money that you made. And when I say making NIL money, let's be really clear here. It's 1% of the 1% who's making 6 figures.
Right.
The school name has to be strong. The brand of the school has to be strong. The community that supports the school has to be strong.
Right.
You know, your blue bloods, those are opportunities.
Right.
Carolina, Duke, Alabama, LSU. That's totally different than somebody going up here to Mammoth.
Gotcha.
That is totally different, but you can do it. And how you can do it is, like we started off with, your personal brand.
Right.
The little girl who's making the most money in the NIL space is a little girl from New Jersey. Her name is Livy Dunn. She's a gymnast on LSU's gymnastics team. How Livy made money is she was homeschooled. So before she went to LSU, she had 1 million followers. Wow. I'm like, do y'all kids understand what it takes to get 1 million followers? I'm like, that's a plan.
Right.
You are preparing.
Right.
You are prepping. And that's what I teach folks and their parents to do to get that. Because people are playing influencers. You're not an influencer. You're an athlete that just happens to be on the team. Those are two totally different things. But Livy, she could go. She knew how to cut her own videos. She knew how to make content. She knew when to post, how to post. And remember, since she was doing it at home for homeschool, and then that COVID year, that was a whole year of practice on how to make content. So now we at LSU, and she got 12 million followers.
Wow.
Y'all didn't hear me lead with she was the best gymnast in the
Right,
NCAA.
right.
Y'all didn't hear me lead with saying she on her way to the Olympics. But Brand knows she knows what to do, and that's a difference.
Gotcha.
So for our kids, when I talk to them all the time, and I'm like, who y'all following? Nobody, they follow me. Baby, that's not how this game works.
Right.
Leverage big moments. You just had a big game, you won. Did you post?
Right.
Did you post what you did leading up to the week?
Right.
When I look at your page, is your name on your... The basics.
I do hate that.
The
name. Y'all be trying to, because I be like, yo, what's such and such a social media page?
I can't
again?
never
like,
remember.
I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, Jesus.
I be trying to find. I'm like, I know I follow.
Right.
Like, and that's a problem.
Right.
Because guess what? Clinton Tabb the third is my brother's name.
Right.
On the back of his jersey, it's Tabb.
Right.
We know him as Buddy.
Right.
But if I'm somebody else that don't know him, and the only thing I have is the book, and the book says Clinton Tabb number 27.
Right.
Y'all yelling Buddy.
Right.
His social media says Buddy.
Right.
I can't find you.
You know it's
all the time. Guess what? It's 10 coaches that came and seen Elijah.
Right.
It's 10 coaches that's coming to see Quran. Guess what? They all can't get there, so you on the team too. So do what you need to do. Again, to what I keep on saying, leverage the big moment.
Right,
yes, because guess what? They're there to see them. They can't get. Everybody can't go.
Right.
So
and we talk about that too. I tell kids all the time, just because a scout is there to see one kid, if you show off,
show off.
they're gonna be like,
That's
well,
gonna bring-
Exactly.
who that kid? Who that kid? I didn't even know that kid was on this team.
And-
Let me check for this kid. And then they might tell the next one,
other,
like, yo,
right.
I can't use
But
him
I got
or her.
one for you.
I can't use him or her, but I was at this school and Joker lit it up.
All the time.
Right.
And that is one thing that I will give you and Buddy, that staff. He does a fantastic job with saying, Coach,
Right.
you can't take this kid, but I got this other kid.
Right.
And then
True.
the question off top, what's your grades look like? What kind of kid is he?
A kid posted.
Hope y'all listening.
A kid posted on Instagram. I don't know who the kid was. The kid posted on Instagram and said, "This is how the story went." He came up on my Explore page.
Yes.
He was like, "Yeah, everybody asking me. You got 17 D1 offers. Where you going? You got this offer, that offer. You doing this, you doing that." He said, "Well, the problem is I ain't doing none of that because my grades wasn't right."
See?
He said, "Now if I can bring back all the time that I screwed off in school," he said, "then I could be able to respond, this is where I'm going." Right. He said, "I had all these offers. I ended up at a JUCO because wasn't none of my grades right." And that was in a nutshell. But the young man told a full story.
Right.
He was in his car, had his hood up. He was like, "I had 17
saw
D1
that.
offers. Yeah,
I saw
17 D1 offers. This and he
that.
said, and everybody asked him, where you going? What you doing? He said, I'm going to this JUCO because my grades wasn't right.
I hear this question a lot. How did you have 17 Division I offers and you end up at JUCO? How was you committed to Maryland and you end up at JUCO? How do you got offers from Texas A&M, Miami, Syracuse, Penn State, Boston College, all the big schools? And the simple answer is I wasn't focused in high school. Everything came so fast. 2-3 offers a day. The girls, the clout, the feeling like you just that nigga. It all came so fast. I felt like I was untouchable. Walking to the store, the old heads, saying, "We believe in you." Everybody looking up to you. Nobody in my family before ever got to this level. I felt like I ain't had to do nothing but play sports. And when your coaches tell you you can't go nowhere without them grades, listen to them. My coaches ask me every day, "How them grades? You staying on top of your grades?" I'm brushing it off. I'm good. Whole time in my head, I'm like, fuck school. I don't need school. I'm gonna play ball. They're gonna take me just because I'm good. Them coaches do not give a fuck about that. If you ain't got no grades, you ain't going nowhere. And that's something I didn't understand at that time. I'm chasing girls. I'm skipping school. I'm not doing no homework. Mind you, I'm an intelligent nigga. When I apply myself, I can do anything. Really, the work was easy. Everything was so easy. But I never applied myself to school. After them coaches asked for my grades.
And that, when I tell them, I say, okay, so now you got a JUCO. I just talked to a kid on Friday. He's at the University of Oklahoma. He's living Raleigh. He said, I went to a JUCO my first 2 years. Boom. He said, now it's time to come out. I'm the number 1 D-back in the country. So the doors is open for me. Right. He said, I'm going to Oklahoma. Okay, bet. He said, I get there and me and Coach Riley do not mesh. He's like, so it's a struggle now.
Right, right.
And my mind is, I'm the number 1 D-back in the country, so you ain't going to talk to me no way. Right. He said, I tore my ACL. He said, I didn't know. He said, but I knew. I said, I knew you knew. Right. He said, but I was just playing through it. At Oklahoma, there wasn't no playing through it.
Right, right.
He said, so now I got to sit down for this whole year. Coach is not clicking with me, so now I'm deciding if I'm going to transfer or not. And because of my attitude, none of the coaches, no other coaches are checking for me. He said, I had offers from everywhere. Right. No other coaches checking for me. Now a new coach comes in. Coach BYRD, he said to me, he said, you got to walk on. He said, I'm the number 1 D-back in the country. What do you mean walk on? Well, where else are you going? Right. What else are you going to do? So he said, I had to humble myself and decide that I wanted to walk on. I said, well, what did you do the whole year while you was, waiting? Right. He said, you know what? I found my passion and I realized how well I could cook. So I was cooking meals for the whole team and selling them and turning it into something. He said, so right now, and I don't want this to be, he said, because I tore my other ACL. Wow. I said, so now you got 2 of them. He said, yes, and I'm training, I'm back, I'm rehabbing. Next year, I'm going to have the year that I need to have in order for me to go to the league. But if I don't go to the league because I know who I am, I grew up, and I know the type of person I want to be, I won't be devastated if I don't go football because I have other things. And so for me, that's a message number 2 with me and kids. Right. What's your other thing?
Well, that's kids all the time. Like, at some point, the ball's going to stop.
Yes.
It stopped for Shaq.
Yes.
But he had backup.
Yes.
It stops for everybody.
Everybody.
You just have to have a plan.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times, and I hate saying to a little kid, and then pop one of the teams, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm going to be an NFL player.
And so, see, because I'm around this space all the time, and I'd be like, no, you're not.
You're right.
So what else are you going to do?
And I say it too. I'm like, no, sweetie. And I work at an elementary school. And I'm like, no, let's try something else as well. What else do you like?
Right there.
What else do you like? So when you say that, and people's like, why would you... First of all, it's 1% that makes it.
One.
And coming from where we come from, I'm not saying he can't be, but let's give him another option.
Let me tell you something. The other option is, and that's another thing that I'm so happy with NIL, that it gives you the opportunity to, and y'all gonna keep hearing me saying the word authentic, because knowing what you like and being authentic to that helps you understand what other opportunities are available to you. So I use it all the time since you wanted to bring up my fitness. You know, I ride that Peloton. That's my thing.
Right.
If Nordic Track came to me and was like, we're going to give you $1 million to do Nordic Track, I would be like, no. And folks would be like, what? You turning down money? Rule number 3, all money ain't good money.
That part.
You see me on my posts talking about this Peloton. If anybody want to talk about fitness and they be like, what you got? I be like, Peloton, let me tell you how to do it. Let me tell you how to use it. It's Peloton. My videos, every picture I take, I'm in front of that bike. So how would it look for me to now be with Nordic Track just because Nordic Track gave me some money? That's not the fit. That's not the brand. That's not what I'm authentic to. So for me to say to kids, and a lesson to do with their parents, I say all the time, write what they like and what they don't like. And on their posts, on their pages, it should not all just be football. Right. What are there other things outside of football that your kids are interested in?
Have you noticed that some of these kids now are not leaving their post up? Like, we go to some of their pages, they got like 1 or 2 pictures. I'm like, what the fuck?
And whoever told them that, that's another, okay, step back. What coaches, recruiters, brands want to see is a history of highlights. And when I say a history of highlights, if you said last year you led the team in assists and you scored 10 points, you averaged 10 points a game, bet. So next year you should have gotten better.
Right.
Gotten better somewhere. More assists.
Right.
More points.
Right.
Or now I lead the team in steals.
Right,
That's
right.
another skill.
Right,
So I shouldn't have to look call Coach Byrd up every day and be like, yo, Tommy, what's going on with Tommy? Because I should be able to look at your highlights of a history of especially, and that's something that we as parents don't do, that I'm like, listen, that's what I said to Lisa just this week. I said, guess what? You got Junior, you paying for both of these trainers now. Great. These videos is too long, 30 seconds. That's all you need. I need you to put the appropriate hashtags under these videos, so when people are looking, like y'all just said with Explore, we know to look at it. Number 2, you start tagging schools that he's interested in. So now you get on their radar, because there's somebody on staff now who all they do is look at social media. That's their job. So now you have those things going for you. Then other things. Football can't be, basketball can't be it. What else do you do? I don't care if it's anime, because guess what? It's places for that now. I don't care if it's video gaming, because guess what? There's esports. There's places for that right now. You draw, you play the piano, you music, photography, shoes, whatever it is, show me who else you are, because if I take football away, what do you have? What's next?
Right.
And that's what it looks like. So that's what I tell parents. Give me a history of highlights.
So why if they haven't brought you to the hood to speak to these kids?
Because, it's one of those things. No. I would come to the hood. I'm here all the time. I live in Atlanta, but I will come and give back to mine all the time.
Kids need that.
Okay, of course. Anytime. Look, anytime. Because it's one of those things that, kids like to razzle dazzle. So when I'm there, as I'm standing up speaking, and back of me, I got pictures of me and everybody. And that's when they going to pay attention.
But you know what? And I'm not to cut you off, but I think our kids just want authentic, genuine people. Let me tell you why. Because I speak to the football team every year. And I've spoken to Camden High before they closed the old school down. I spoke to in front of 700 kids. And the teacher said they never heard a pin drop in a room of kids. I think that the kids know when you're authentic and who you are, and they want to listen. Definitely. You know what I mean? Because my thing is, when I talk to the boys, I usually talk to them on the field. I don't got no razzle. I don't know no people. I mean, I may know people, but I don't got no pictures with nobody. I never take pictures. Like, I just listen. This is who I am. This is what it is. Y'all gotta have a plan outside of this. I need y'all to think about life after this stops, like after this is over with. And I'm here for when you're in that transition of trying to figure out emotionally. I'm here for the emotional support. I'm not you. I don't have no skill set, none of that. I can't lead you to NILs. I can't. But what I can do is make sure when they sitting next to you, they ain't all over the place.
Exactly.
Mentally.
And that's what you need.
Focus.
And guess what? No, that is what you need, because focus is part of this. Game planning is part of this. So the 3 things that I come back to teach when someone asks me to teach, I teach personal branding, like I just told y'all, what it looks like, how to do it, don't like no pictures with you wear that little stupid Pooh Shiesty mask. Take it off. Don't like pictures with these boys who robbed the bank with a Pooh Shiesty mask. Because guess what? Do y'all not know all the brands and everyone on social media can see everything that you like? So you was at football practice, but me, I don't know. I'm a brand that's up in Pennsylvania. I'm going to give you some money. The neighborhood happened in your school, somebody in your neighborhood got into a fight and they all had Pooh Shiesty masks on, you liked it. Guess what I'm going to think? You was right there. Deal off table.
I had a conversation with a kid, and he has now since learned he doesn't have social media now. Now he's where he needs to be, somewhere else in the middle of nowhere.
And guess what?
Getting it right.
And another get right. Don't put no music with cussing. Just stop it. There's radio edits. There are radio edits of every little song. And guess what? The coach don't want to be distracted by your little highlights with all this, with the music on there anyway. So do something else. That's number 2. Then the second thing I teach is the art of storytelling. You have to know how to tell your story. We all have them. You have to know how to tell it. For us, for business folks and older folks, it's the elevator pitch. You got 30 seconds, that door closed. What you gonna say? That is storytelling. You have to know how to tell your story. The good, the bad, the ugly. And the example that I use on that all the time is I had Joe Mixon, the running back for the Bengals. Remember, he got in trouble at Oklahoma.
Yes, he did.
And one day we were all sitting in the room, some other kids, that freshman class of rookies, sitting in the room. A boy looked at him and said, "What happened at school?" He put his head down and he was like, nah, I don't want to talk about it. I said, oh,
No, yes, you
no.
need
I said,
to.
yes, you do.
Right.
I said, and you're going to talk about it. You're going to tell the story. You're going to tell the story the way that you can control the narrative. So now, because they never going to let that go.
Right.
So you might as well own that story and
Right.
figure out. And he looked at me, he said, how do I do that? I said, you tell the story to somebody that's fresh, that's brand new, that doesn't know you. And every time you say something wrong, I'm going to raise my hand and tell you to back up and start over.
Right.
I said, it's just a repetitive. It's over and over and over. But you got to know what makes you tick. That's
Right.
part of who you are. That's your journey.
Right.
Then the third thing that I teach is the 3 P's of NIL: prepare, plan, and prep. You just can't wake up tomorrow and say, I want to do NIL.
Right.
You can't. I mean, you could, but one thing that I tell everyone all the time, girls do NIL better than boys. And they be like, why? Because the first thing is engagement. You got to deal with Nike, and you put on a red polo shirt with a Nike swoosh, and it's called the Dry Fit Express. Somebody in the post say, that's a bad shirt, and you don't say nothing back. Your job is to sell that Nike Dry Fit Express. So you need to go into all those comments of people and be like, this is called the Nike Dry Fit Express, because that's what the brand, that's what NIL is.
Right.
That's what the brand is paying you to do. So boys, you have a great catch. It's all great catch. You don't say nothing. No, thank you.
Got you.
No, yes, at this game, guess what else I did in this game?
Right.
You don't say nothing. Girls, you had a great game. Baby, they in there with the hearts, the emojis, the faces.
That's why I always tell the little boys,
Yeah.
that little girl that's smelling behind your behind, put it to work.
Put some work.
Put it to work.
Put it
to
Do
work.
the likes and the
Baby.
signs and
Put it
what
to
you
work.
doing.
Let me tell you something, and Bird will tell you all the time, folks. I have to tell my brother, I do not work for you.
You do.
Oh, and let me tell you something. So last night, Jabril comes over to the house and he's like, since you up here and you on your admin duty, I need a T-shirt. I need everything that they passed out at alumni game. I was like, it's in the car. Your bag is right here. He said, see, that's how we get stuff. I said, I don't work for you. But
Yes, you do.
I do. But there are tons of me's at
Right.
school that want to work for somebody.
Right.
And guess what? Especially in that space, so you say, hey, you started off your senior year, you had 1,000 followers. At the end of your season year, you have 2,500 followers. Guess what someone who's working with you can then now say when they're sitting at, do you have experience? Oh, I rose his follower rate
Right.
over 150%.
Right.
We went from this number to
that
this
number.
number.
Right.
How did you do it? Huh. Now that's the thing.
Right.
So
Right.
trust you me. You need the me's around because those are the ones, number one, that you could trust.
Right.
Number two, those are the people who want to see you do good. But then you also need what I call Switzerland. And Switzerland ain't your manager. Switzerland ain't your parents.
Right.
Switzerland ain't nobody that you're paying to keep their lights on because they're going to be your yes man or your yes woman and let you do whatever you want.
Right.
Over here, we not doing none of that.
Right. Got you.
We not
But some
doing
people's
that.
agents let them do it because they paying them.
Get right there because
Right.
you get you get a portion of
Yeah,
that.
Right.
they because they letting them do some of these young boys. Whoever's in charge of their, I always say that all the time. They don't got no team around them.
No team.
Yep.
Let's
They
take
don't got no team around them.
my greatest shining example that I go through right now is the lovely Ja Morant.
No, ooh,
So no, but let's be honest about Ja. Ja was not a top 50 player in the country when he was in high school. Ja went to Butler. His family was not prepared for what happened because they didn't think it was going to happen.
Right.
You compare that to someone like, give me any kid who's the first pick who knew that this
what it was.
We knew
Right.
what it was.
Right,
We've
right.
always had these people around. Bet you won't happen to DJ.
Right.
Bet you
Right.
that circle that they got around him, we may not like it, but it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And at this point of the game, is protect our asset at all costs. His dad is being his friend, not his dad. I need you, sir, to sit him down. And when I say sit him down, sit him down.
Right.
Y'all just letting all this, and I'll be looking at the pictures and everything, and I'll be like, where's the me? Where's the person who looks so out of
Right,
place
right.
here that's saying
but
no?
I gotta.
Yes?
Where's the mom?
She there?
because moms usually be like, yo, stop this
Stop that.
foolishness.
Right,
But guess what?
We ain't doing this.
Here's another thing: is the daughter. A lot of folks don't know. For prime example, they got a daughter who play basketball.
Yes.
She going to Mississippi Valley. Why are you going to Valley?
Right.
It is what it is, and what is the dynamics that's going on here that we're not piggybacking off of leveraging big moments, as y'all keep hearing me say, to turn this into something else. But he doesn't have an outside person because y'all want to keep these circles so tight. You got to let I always tell my clients, I don't ever want anyone to hear you say, oh, such and such was mean to me. All I asked for was an autograph and he couldn't give it to me. She was mean to me.
Right.
That lady that was with him, always with him, is so mean. She don't let him do nothing. My players would ask me before we went to do anything, are we allowed to have fun today?
Maybe. A little bit.
Oh, but you know they paid us to be here at this club. They paid for a walkthrough. Do you know what a walkthrough is?
Hi, bye.
Let the DJ shout us out that we here.
Right.
Shine the light real quick, and we out the door.
Guess what? Tomorrow we're going to be down at the field. Bring your kids over for our camp because we back in town. Love to see it.
And look, it was so crazy because I just was telling my homeboys, because we're all retired now, and for a little bit I was doing like celebrity gigs.
Yep.
And I told my homeboy, I said, yo, you know what? We in the wrong. Why don't we just go ahead and do the security thing and get these athletes? Because I know all these athletes, these coaches.
I thought you just told me you don't know nobody.
Huh? Oh, do I?
You just said that.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
I'm just,
So one thing is,
we don't listen to her.
So one thing is, I was like,
it's our humble downplay.
So I was like, you know,
do that.
and within the next year, let's do a security service, and then, because first of all, I'm a bitch.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a bitch with a gun.
Oh yeah.
So people don't think I'm the bodyguard. So it's always when I hit them with the, they
Yes.
like, oh, the lady was the lady. Listen, I need to monopolize off the fact that I know some of these athletes because they not getting the right protection.
And that's what it is.
They need the right protection in their little, they need the right people that be like, oh, watch this coming this way. Oh, we ain't doing this. We move over there. Move along. Let's go. We in and out. We go.
Baby, because guess what? And for me and how I play that is when I talk to you, you're in charge of security. When you see me walking, everybody walks.
Right.
I don't care who he talking to, who he signing, who he move. When you see me start walking, push it all.
Right.
Everybody walks. So I don't care what he want really.
Right.
We here
it's
for
about the benefit.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, it's about the benefit.
You ain't never think about it. And this is the one you could say to yourself, have you ever heard, Marcus got a huge contract this year. Have you ever heard him in anything? Have you ever heard, nothing. But guess what? In school, I said, Marcus, what you gonna do after football? I think I want to be on TV. Guess what? The next semester, speech classes. The next semester, mass comm. The next semester, we doing stuff to get ready because you said you wanted to do that. When he started on SEC Network, how it happened was the lady from the SEC Network was like, oh, we're putting together SEC Network. It's going to be a great time. I said, tweet her. He said, tweet her what? That you want to be an analyst.
Right.
I said, what could she say?
Right. Yeah.
You play football in the SEC. You got a championship. Here it goes. He tweeted her, and that's what started it.
Right.
And now he on ESPN on Monday Night Football, and it is what it is.
Everywhere else, he's always on there.
Always on there. But then come back, just like Ryan Clark, same thing. You see, that's the brand. That's the brand of LSU. So you picking a school that has so much more for you.
Right.
Where do you fit in?
Send our kid her way.
Hey,
we got a kid that's at LSU.
Hey, talk to go to the football team. Yeah, he need to see me ASAP. I've been telling everybody.
I'll send you your information.
Look at me. When they told me he was transferring there, I said, get with me immediately. Because LSU for us is a different space. It's going from the north to the south. That's something that me and Buddy talk about all the time. I've been like, kids need to come down south, and to us up here, south is Virginia.
Right.
North Carolina is far. No. Deep. You want to play some football? Right. Come down in this belt. Right. Come down here and see what it is. Right. Because the scouts and everybody else started at the SEC first, whether you like it or not.
Nah, that's true.
That's especially if you playing football. Basketball, I can move you some places. But football, and guess what? You need somebody that understands what this looks like, because it's a whole different everything. And I want us to win. I want you to win. So let's map out what winning looks like for you.
Right.
And that's, everybody got to be on the same. When Coco Golf just won that championship, did you see how quickly everybody put on them T-shirts that said, call me champion?
Right.
Mom, Dad, agent, everybody. That's a cohesive unit that's moving as one. And we are following somebody, the me, who's saying, this is what's going to happen if this happens. This is what's going to happen if this happens.
Right.
This is what's going to happen if this happens. So
That's what's up.
build your team.
Yeah.
Don't pick them off the street.
I hope y'all was listening out there.
And
Yo,
I know she rambling a little fast.
a lot.
We're gonna hopefully
of
we'll
info.
have her social medias and
Most
her
definitely.
web pages
Most
and all of
definitely.
that,
Most
so y'all can
definitely.
look her up and
Most
check her out.
definitely.
And she's a wealth of information. It was amazing. And when I cut this mic off, I'm gonna burn her ear for about 15 minutes.
Please.
And then we're gonna exchange information so I
Please.
can make sure I can bring her back and talk to our kids.
Yes, no,
Definitely.
that's what I'm here for. That's what I want to do. You know, it's one of those things that I will never say no to go talk to some kids. And I'm gonna make y'all pay me because that's something else that I want to teach our kids. Know your value.
You talk about it all the time. You had to learn that.
No,
Yeah, I had to
Remember?
learn
You
because,
had to learn that.
you know, I do mental health.
Yes.
And I teach teen mental health first aid and youth mental health first aid.
Yes.
And I do workshops, de-stressing workshops. I try to get in front of athletes. I do all these workshops. But I was just giving them the information because I want the kids to be emotionally and mentally prepared for when the ball stops. Or when they don't get that D1 offer.
Yes.
And they got to go maybe D2.
Yes.
Or maybe their space maybe they have to go JUCO because of the
Yes.
grades. So I try to get them mentally, emotionally prepared for the what if may happen, right? And even though your skill set is not your problem, other things aren't, right?
Yes.
So I just wanted to give it to him.
Yes, no.
Give it to him, give it to him.
No.
And then somebody told me, hey! You're tired? Yeah, I'm tired. You tired because you free.
Yes.
Right.
People gonna run you ragged.
Run
True.
When
If
you
let 'em.
free.
Run
Right.
you ragged.
So now,
Right.
lately, I've been putting a price on it, and not everybody has been getting me in their space, but it's okay because the ones that have been bringing me in space, they're paying me for it.
Yes.
Right? So you're going to either pay, somebody's going to pay.
Right.
Baby, and guess what?
And it may not be you, but somebody's going to
Cousin
pay.
Tracy, the ones that pay, and you know, like I said, for me with my whole little fitness thing, I make meal plans. So I'm gonna tell you, if I could tell you how to eat right, I could help you lose weight. But you're gonna eat what I tell you to eat.
Right.
And guess what? You're gonna pay me because it's like us when we go to the hairdresser. If you pay that hairdresser your money, you want to see some results.
Right.
So guess what? When you pay me for this meal plan, you're going to follow it because you don't want to waste your money. But guess what? You got two choices. Either you follow it and you lose the weight, you don't follow it and you waste your money, and now we all back to square one. But
Right.
guess who's gonna get paid?
Right.
Me.
Yeah, so I had to learn. I had
You
to
have
learn.
to.
I had to put,
Facts.
you know what I mean? Because I do all this training, I
Yes.
get all these certs, I'm
Yes.
I'm qualified.
Yes.
But, and you know, it's crazy because sometimes when you look like us,
Yes.
they don't want to let you in the room.
Baby, you ain't got to tell me because this right here with this NIL thing, folks is like, how do you know? Because I've been doing this for 25 years.
Right.
I've made $1 million deals. And I tell folks, I'm like, give me an example of something you've done. You know why Chris Paul is Uncle Cliff? That's because of me, because State Farm was one of my clients and they wanted somebody who dealt with assists. Because guess what? Assists help. His sophomore year in the NBA, he was leading the league in assists. So I said, why don't you put Chris Paul? You assist,
Right,
you
right.
help.
Right.
That's what State Farm does.
Right.
So that partnership was a great partnership that turned to this type of relationship. So that's how it's lasted this long. Because if you want to do the math, that was 2009.
Right.
That's how he
Right.
got there.
Right.
And that's what this looks like. So it's building a team. It's knowing what you like, being authentic, and then it's actually putting the plan into motion. You
Right.
sitting around talking about what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do.
You gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
Get to do it.
You got
Get
to do it.
That's what's up. We thank you.
Thankful.
Definitely thank you. Says
And
you've
she
never
jumped
said
on
no.
the couch on her way out.
Yes, because I
So,
Yeah, because he's flying out tomorrow,
tomorrow,
right?
actually, you know what?
When it's-
Like you just said, that thing of building into yourself. So tomorrow, I was like, let me just stay because tomorrow over in Philly, Chase Bank is giving a free entrepreneurial workshop to women who are trying to build their business. Yes, my business is moving, it's going the way it wants, but if somebody gonna give it to me for free and I'm gonna go to listen,
gonna get it.
let's go get it and let's listen.
We can roll right into that because I was just going to say before we wrap this up,
Yes.
your future plans, what you just continue to do what you do. I know you got something
For
going
me,
on
not
and-
even so much continue to do what I do. I want to be able to help us with NIL.
Okay.
And I don't want to don't call Bird tomorrow and be like, my kid can be the next person. Can she manage me? Because I don't want to manage your kid. Because you're going to be mad at me when I take my 25% off top.
Right.
I'm not trying to chase no kid down. I got your deal for $1,000 and now you owe me $250. I don't even want to do that.
Right.
I want to be able to teach you how to do it for yourself.
Gotcha.
Because the 1%ers are going to they got it.
Right.
But there's 99%, and that's actually who, as we mentioned earlier, who the brands want to work with. But it's a part-time. NIL is a part-time job.
Right.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
You got school, you got sports, and now you want to add NIL onto this.
Right.
So I want to be able to teach us, to teach our administrators, to teach our parents how to do this.
Gotcha.
And how to do it the right way. And if not, then you come to Ivory because I think I did something wrong.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Got you.
Yes. Yes. So for me, like I said, going around talking to schools, being there, spending the day there, allowing kids to have conversations with me that they wouldn't normally have, turning that into an actual business model that's sustainable. Because y'all can't help the kids.
Right.
Because y'all in school. And that's the first rule. No one at school is allowed to help.
Right.
But guess what? As soon as they dropped it here in 2021, he was like, "It's okay. She do this every day."
Right.
So that's what it looks like.
Right.
So for me, that's what I want to do. Just be able to help. I want to offer education because that's
what it is.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
So we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, sis. Thank you. Any shout outs or anything before we get out of here?
No,
Okay.
It is what it is. Like I said, let's win this. Let's
keep
win
it moving, right? Let's get these playoffs and keep it popping. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it moving.
Look, let's give me another track championship. Give me something.
Let's keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
Moving.
And for those that don't know, you might not know who Buddy is. You know what I'm saying? But
Coach Tabb.
The Coach Tabb, Pennsauken football indoor track state championship, outdoor track state championships.
He's
you know what I'm saying?
the
New Jersey track coach of the
Yeah.
year. You know what I'm saying? Got so many accolades these last couple years.
He's up for national
crazy.
track coach
So
of the year.
this is his sister. You know what I'm saying? They are brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, she's my sister as well.
All day
you know
long.
What I'm saying? So
All day
again,
long.
just want to say thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for taking some time out because I had to catch you. You remember I was
you
telling you
always
before,
ask me,
like,
and
yo,
I'm like,
when you
I'm
flying
here.
in? When you getting here? When you
Yep.
getting here? So
Yep.
I had to catch you, and I'm so glad you sat down on the couch and so informative. Parents, I hope you were paying attention. Student athletes, I hope you were paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry, it's on YouTube, so you can rewind it. If you missed something, rewind it back, and then you'll catch something in there that'll definitely help you out. Cousin Tracy, you know what I'm saying? There is no Birdcage show without you. You know I love you. Thank you. For those that don't know, you know what I'm saying? We usually give y'all our taping schedule. You know when these air, but we're actually here on a Monday night, and me and Cousin Tracy, we have work in the morning. So I would like to just thank her for sliding out on a Monday evening after a long day of work and come sit down. But it was well worth it.
Yes,
It was definitely well worth
it.
it. You know what I'm saying? So what you got for us when we get out of here?
So we heard a lot about leveraging opportunities, and we also heard something about preparation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to just leave with saying this. Be prepared. Always be prepared for the good, the bad, and the otherwise. I remember being told to have an A, B, and C plan because A always may not work out, and B, maybe your backup. And then you always need to have C just in case things fall through. So student athletes and parents, number one, I just want us to understand that sometimes this pathway of sports may be your kid's opportunity to get free education. It's not always maybe paycheck related, but the education definitely will be a paycheck. That's beyond a paycheck. So just always be prepared. Be prepared for the what ifs and what may, and also be prepared for it happened, right? All the things you dream of may come true, and you got to be prepared for that as well. So just the key word to take away for tonight is preparation.
And there you have it. So once again, for our very, very, very special esteemed guest, thank you, sis. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Cousin Tracy, the lovely Cousin Tracy, episode 112 is in the books. And once again, I am Sechuayo, a.k.a. Coach Bird. I'm the host of the BYRDCAGE Show, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.
It was a stone groove, my man.